Oh, wait. Before we jump in.
Yes.
I played Stride.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think I saw that. Okay. All right. So you've played the more updated version of Stride. I haven't played the latest version yet. But
Yeah, I don't know what they added in.
Last I played, they only had the survival endless run mode. Like they added in the two other modes of like.
Oh, they had, like challenge missions.
Challenge. Yeah. So let's talk. Do you want to talk about like just the base feel of it or the mechanics?
Yeah, man. Oh, I can see why you were excited about it, because it does what it does pretty damn well.
VR Mirror's Edge, for anyone who's not familiar with Stride, it's very much, it feels a lot like a VR Mirror's Edge. It presents itself kind of like a Mirror's Edge, but at the moment I think it's because it's, a working, developing game, so eventually...
Yeah, but it's that idea of like very fluid movement through an environment. So it has like wall running. So I think the basic mechanic is like hold forwards and swing your arms or whatever to run forwards. But then like if you like crouch in real life, you can like slide. You can jump by like moving your arms upwards and like pressing a button, which I thought was going to be weird when you described it, but it actually worked pretty well because you're almost always coupling that like upwards arm movement with then grabbing a ledge and pulling down.
Yep.
And so if your arms aren't up, you can't pull down.
Yeah, if I could call something out real quick, something that is clever in this game that I have been thinking about for a while and really want to implement is the combination of the player's body actions, kinetic actions, on top of button presses. And this game does that very well by saying, starting with what you called out, the running, you actually say like walk or jog at first, if you just by like holding forward on the thumbstick, like that's how you move, I believe. And then if you want to run, then you actually have to swing your arms on top of pressing the thumbstick forward, which I thought was like pretty clever. And then like extending that to the jump, if you like, the jump is like hold this A button first and then pull both your arms upward, you like mimicking a jump. You don't actually have to do it. And what's the last one?
Well, there's like grappling hooks, there's wall running, there's pulling yourself up, there's sliding.
Oh, there's climbing. There's actual like point-to-point climbing if you can grab the things.
And there's like double jump, which feels really good. Like that I think is the meat of the game, is when you're like running along and you like basically Kong over, like you use your hands to like leap up over an obstacle and then like jump off it across a gap and then like pull yourself up and jump again without losing momentum at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, you're like flowing through this environment, and the tuning is very nice on like what it allows you to do, to the point where the few times where it screwed up, I was like, it was kind of my fault. I don't know, it didn't feel particularly bad in those moments when I lost momentum.
Yeah
Except when I hit my desk really hard and
Yes, that is actually a big risk for this game because of how physically demanding it is. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's like a second layer of warning to these games that will develop over time, is like, we have the comfort, like how comfortable is this game? But like we also need, I think, like an activity like meter, which I think is sort of paired up with the comfort.
Have you seen the subreddit VR to ER?
Oh no.
It's just aftermaths of people like breaking stuff or hurting themselves while playing VR.
I need to see this. I need
so like
to...
we just need like a spiciness meter for games. It's like, how likely are you to visit the emergency room as a result of playing this?
Yeah, right. Okay, right. So here we go. I'm looking at Beat Saber on the Oculus Store, and it's labeled as comfortable, which makes perfect sense. You're standing in place. It's not pulling you anywhere. But the thing is like, it's also a fairly physically active game. So I think it would be interesting if as time goes on, we see games or people rating games, or like at least identifying these elements of like, hey, this game's comfortable, it is very physically intense, and it also demands like it also really demands a play space, or like, it really has you turning around and doing things, something like that. to give players a tip off as to like either what to expect or like what is the safest way to play.
That's interesting because it brings up the idea of demos. Like, what if you could press a button in, you're like browsing the store or whatever in your headset, and you like just press a button and like you're playing the game for a couple of minutes just to like experience what it's like in VR. Because it's a huge issue is trailers don't show what it's actually like to play the game.
Yeah.
And you might hop in and be like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I don't like this. So that's a real argument for having easily accessible demos. And does Stride have a demo? Come to think of it? No, it looks like it doesn't. That's a great example of like, if you could just like play that for 5 seconds and then you'd be like, oh, I get it. And then you would immediately purchase it.
Yeah. I think it's really sad that the idea of demos or like trial versions of the game has been killed by this return policy mentality.
Well, it's just a bad deal as a developer.
Yeah.
Like it legitimately reduces your sales and the way that people value your game psychologically. And that's not even my opinion. Like, the data shows that.
Yeah, especially for VR games, it would be a lot better to almost mandate that every game needs to have, like, some portion playable as a demo.
Yeah, it would have to be like a platform mandate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg will have to stop smoking meats and actually pay attention to the Oculus platform.